Unknown events and what's happening in space above our heads. This is translated from a Greek article. 2 weeks ago, a Russian secret spaceship began going around a new orbit around Earth, a secret US spy satellite. So the Russian spaceship was keeping tabs on a US spy satellite. The unusual move of Russian Cosmos 2542 on January 20th of this year allows it to closely monitor the US KH-11. It's a $4 billion orbiting satellite that looks up from Earth. Looks down on Earth. So it's a satellite above Earth looking down towards Earth. And there's not much that American spacecraft can do about this. For the Americans, this move by the Russians in a time of peace is very annoying. During a Cold War, of course, it could be a prelude to something that would be very unpleasant. Now, the Cosmos 2542 of the Russian Cosmos is what space operators call inspection satellite, with sensors and propellants and mini fridge-sized satellites that can maneuver around other spacecraft and detect them. Some inspections could double as weapon systems and spoil or even destroy an enemy spaceship or satellite. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, the purpose of the experiment is to continue work on evaluating the technical status of domestic satellites. But it was obvious that an American satellite called the USA 245 was their real target. They wanted to pursue it and to track it to see what was going on. The original orbit of the Cosmos 2542 allowed them to travel a few hundred kilometers from KH-11 every 11 to 12 days. This is what Michael Thompson noted. He's an American graduate student who shouts with a small space, who works with a small space company and in spare time monitors satellites. From November to January, the Russian Cosmos 2542 was largely at a very great distance from the KH-11, as the satellite of the U.S. National Bureau of Reconnaissance distinguished his business with high-resolution photos. Then in mid-January, the Russian Cosmos 2542 passed near the U.S. spy satellite, making its move. Instead of drifting as usual, the Russian Cosmos 2542 made a series of maneuvers between January 20th and January 23rd to get substantially closer to the USA 245. In this range, the Russian Cosmos 2542 can take fairly detailed photos of the US KH-11, and the relative trajectory was designed really smart so you could do it. It's not clear how much Russia can learn from the KH-11 photography. Personally, I think the value of the intelligence of observers of spy satellites such as this is probably marginal. It is well known that KH-11s use the same lens that forms the basis of NASA's Hubble Space Telescope. Anyone with visual experience can appreciate the capabilities of KH-11. Spying on a spy satellite may not be particularly strange. Russia has developed several mysterious espionage satellites from 2014 until today. China, Japan, Sweden, and the US have launched their own control vessels, their spacecraft. The mysterious US Air Force's mini shuttle X-37B may be the most famous spacecraft with spy capabilities, but all these spacecraft and satellites have capabilities like weapons. You can equip them with laser, maybe put some explosive on them. If something comes too close to a military satellite, it can suffer some quote-unquote damage. These maneuvers of Russian Cosmos 2542 to come close and spy on the American spy satellite may indicate that Russia is doing something practical and perhaps preparation for conflict. Now, KH-11 systems are not known to have defensive systems. No, then they will only be useful during peace. Now, to sum up this thing, throughout space, human history has been a source of fascination for space, awe-inspiring and awe-inspiring. Space has promoted our culture through more tangible methods. The moon was used to create the first diaries. The sun allowed us to qualify the hours in a day, and the stars helped explorers navigate the globe. Space continues to encourage human innovation in more recent times with scientific breakthroughs in space that allow us to learn more about our planet. In recent decades, space has increasingly become a battlefield. Building on the dynamics of the space race, the U.S. focused on investing the command control, computer communications, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. So this is what I've translated for you. The thing is, the gist of this is that Russia is very openly found to have tracked a U.S. spy satellite, or any, I guess it can do that to any satellite. So it seems that what we're doing in low Earth, in over our heads, in low Earth atmosphere, I shouldn't say that, or, in our airspace, okay, they're taking this out towards a lower and higher Earth atmosphere. That's not very good. I mean, from what I know, we have some kind of an international space treaty that says that we can't weaponize space. And now we see that they're ignoring that. What's my opinion on this? The truth is, whoever controls space controls Earth. Don't you think? I mean, our technology is so advanced now that that's the reality of it. And whoever controls the moon controls Earth, or whoever controls Mars controls Earth. I mean, where are you gonna stop this? But this, it seems to me that our technology is really getting out of hand, because our consciousness, our ethics and morals and consciousness, I don't know if we're going to be able to handle this the way it's going. It seems to me that something is getting out of hand. Anyway, tell me what you think about all this. This is on Diadrastika that I've translated for you. This is something very strange. And I just hope that nothing goes on up there, and we have things tumbling down towards us, or whatever. We're going to start seeing signs in the skies. This is not. It's really getting out of hand. Anyway, I'll leave links below for you for this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece. in Capotat, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.